News just came through to us in the last hour, which is that Roger Federer, 20-time Grand Slam singles champion, will retire from top-level tennis after the Laver Cup in London later this month. So the Swiss maestro, 41 years old, gosh, he looks good for 41, doesn't he? Retires as one of the all-time greats, not just in that sport, but of sport in general. And joining me now for some reaction is sports broadcaster and journalist Ben Jacobs. Ben, the end of a tennis great and indeed a housewife's favourite.
Indeed, the GOAT, as many are saying, has retired, and it's the end of an era for tennis as well, because let's not forget that Serena Williams also announced her retirement as well. And in Federer's case, not a massive surprise in the sense that he's had knee problems of late and hasn't played competitively since Wimbledon in 2021. And after that particular tournament a year or so ago, he had to have a third knee operation. And the message from Federer is somber but clear, that his body has sent him an indication that he needs to retire. So as you say, he'll play the Laver Cup in London later this month. It will very much be an emotional farewell. And then from there, with Serena also going as well, it kind of nods towards that new generation of stars that are up and coming. But I think the reason why Federer will be so sorely missed on the court is because he's been a phenomenal winner, a serial winner, in fact, and only Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal have won more Grand Slam titles than Federer. And in addition to that, he's just been a brilliant ambassador for the sport as well. So he'll be sorely missed, but I'm sure that he's got a plan in terms of business and maybe some punditry as well for after he formally retires.
Yes, indeed. I mean, he used to amaze people both on and off the court, actually, Roger Federer, didn't he? I mean, his ability to speak in multiple different languages during interviews at things like Wimbledon was really, really remarkable, I thought, and definitely a man of the people.
Yeah, a man of the people, very media trained, and just a great ambassador for the sport. And what you find with Federer is that he was one of the rare sportsmen that could transcend sport, but also balance that pressure of focusing on tennis and winning regular Grand Slams, particularly, of course, at Wimbledon. And at the same time as doing that, make sure that he used his voice wisely and sensibly in and outside of sport. And I think that that's what allows him post-retirement to still be so successful and relevant as a voice. And it will be interesting to see what direction he takes that voice as well. And I think the ease at which he played tennis as well was very much reflective of his own laid-back, suave personality. He had a phenomenal, iconic backhand. He was a strong server, still is, of course, because he's got the Laver Cup to play as well. And I think that the other thing about Roger Federer off the court is he was charming and disarming. I commentated on tennis many times, particularly out in the Middle East. And I remember one story where it was the Dubai Duty Free Tennis Championships. It was 2012. He beat Andy Murray in the final. There I was in the village commentating in front of a big crowd, and the organisers sent a face painter up onto the stage. And because Federer was winning at the time, they put a Swiss flag on my left cheek. And then I ran off and I did my on-court interviews, and Murray came first, and he gave me a look of pure thunder, and I'd forgotten that there was this Swiss flag still on my left-hand cheek. And then somebody told me that's unprofessional, and I quickly rubbed it off with my hand. And then Federer comes in and he sees this desecrated, completely ruined, smudged Swiss flag, and he just says, "Oh, I guess you wanted Andy Murray to win then instead." So I couldn't win with Murray and I couldn't win with Federer. But the point of the story is that's what Federer's like off the court. He develops relationships, he's funny, he's charming, he's media trained, and I'm sure, and I hope anyway, that we hear more of his personality and voice after his retirement.